Good afternoon, Phil.
Hello, Judy. Hi, Pam. Hello. Hello, Jackie.
How are you?
All right, are you?
Yes, surviving.
Yes. Life ever be normal?
Councillors, can I please remind you that the recording, the meeting is still being recorded at present.
Sorry, thank you.
Shall I turn you around?
Oh, sorry. Am I behind the flags? No. Oh. Okay, we're on. Right, thank you. Welcome back after our short break. Hope you're all okay now. And so we'll proceed with agenda item 8, the pay policy statement 2021 to 22. So we now have a report from the chairman of the Employment Committee on the pay policy statement. No? Oh, I'll ask Councillor Cook to present the report, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Well, fellow members, members, I now wish to introduce the annual pay policy statement, which is published and updated each year. The annual pay policy statement is a key pillar of our budget setting process, particularly pertinent as pay makes up a significant proportion of our budget. And firstly, I think it is important to highlight that without our staff, we won't be able to deliver our vital services for our communities, which is what we've already said. And the pay policy statement is therefore an important part of the offer that we make to employees. It demonstrates our commitment to a pay system which is effective, fair and transparent. The pay policy statement is not only of vital importance for our staff, but also of vital importance to our residents and local businesses. You'll find full details of the pay policy statement within your agenda papers. However, there are two important amendments that I need to point out to members. The first is in respect of paragraph 13.5 at page 29 of your agenda papers. This referred to the legislation introduced by government on the exit pay cap on all public sector exit payments. This national policy has been legally challenged by the trade unions in the High Court, and the government decided on the 13th of February 2021 to repeal the legislation as it is currently drafted. As the legislation is now being revoked, I suggest an amendment to the pay policy to delete 13.5 paragraph 13.5 in its entirety. The second amendment I propose is to section 4 of the pay policy statement in your papers at pages 23 to the top of 25. Unfortunately, the table and some of the job titles were incorrect at time of publication. A revised section 4, including the table, have been circulated to members and emailed out to you all prior to this meeting. It will also be shared on the screen with all the changes showing. These errors were, unfortunately, in the version of the pay policy statement that went to the Employment Committee, and I have discussed the errors with both the Chair and Vice Chair of the Employment Committee, who are happy to accept my proposed changes. And I'm sure Karen, on behalf of the officers, would also like to extend her apologies for these errors conducted. With those two amendments and the earlier decision of Council to support the real living wage, Madam Chairman, I propose that Council approves the pay policy statement for 2021-22 and gives delegated authority to the Chief Executive to amend the pay policy to reflect the changes I am proposing. And I understand Councillor Paul Wood has agreed to second this document.
Yes, Madam Chairman, I'm quite happy to second that, particularly in the way that now we've approved the real living wage in the budget. I attended the Employment Committee. I agreed with it then, and I agree with what Councillor Cook says about the proposed changes. I think it's quite straightforward now, and I would hope that everybody could approve it. I certainly am prepared to second it. Thank you.
Do you have any other members want to speak on it? No? Oh, yes, we do. Councillor Ashley Baxter?
Thank you. I do welcome the amendment about the national living wage, and I'm pleased that we'll now be paying apprentices properly. I wanted to also to ask, does this pay policy also apply to people who work for our subsidiary companies, Invest SK, Environment SK, and so on? And if not, shouldn't it? Shouldn't we insist that our wholly owned companies adhere to the same pay policy, or is there a good reason why not? Thank you.
Pardon? What? Oh no, can't hear it.
Madam Chairman, please could you just confirm if the amendment is displaying for you? I've tried to share my screen that reflects the amendment.
No, oh, it's coming up. Oh, gone.
Naomi, it's showing as black screen.
Oh. I'm hoping that it's just slightly delayed. Sometimes it takes a while to upload.
It's showing now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, back again.
Oh dear.
Oh, gone. Should we just?
I can take it off and then retry.
I think we'll leave that now, and I think Councillor Cook is wanting to have a few more words about it to sum up.
I'm happy to sum up and answer Councillor Baxter's question, Madam Chairman,
yes.
And then move to the vote.
Yes.
So in terms of Councillor Baxter's question, obviously it isn't for us to set the pay policies for the arm's length companies. That is an item for the boards of those companies to determine. And I'm sure if you wish to raise this, then you are welcome to raise this at the Companies Committee. But otherwise, Madam Chairman, I have nothing else to add and would propose that we move to the vote.
Right, thank you very much. And could the Chief Executive tell us how we're going to vote for this one?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As it doesn't need to be a recorded vote, this can be voted by exception. The report in front of you with the additional amendment of a delegation to the Chief Executive has been proposed by Councillor Cook and seconded by Councillor Wood. Therefore, we can vote by exception. In support of the policy, you wouldn't need to vote, but if you are abstaining or against, please do so in the chat function.
Then, please.
Madam Chairman, there doesn't look like there are any members of council abstaining or any members of council are against the pay policy and the additional recommendation and the amendments. Therefore, the vote is carried.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. And we'll go to item 9, which is updates from the Leader of the Council. So I'll invite the Leader to provide members with any updates. Councillor Cook.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I have nothing to update Council on at this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. We have members' open questions. Agenda item number 10, and members may ask one question only, with no preamble or supplementary, which may be addressed to one of the following: the Leader, Cabinet members, Chairman and Vice Chairman of Overview and Scrutiny Committees, and Opposition Group Leaders. The session may last up to 45 minutes. Please indicate that you would like to ask a question by adding yourself to the microphone queue and wait until I call you to speak. I expect you to put your question straight away. If you do not, I will direct you to move to your question. If, after being instructed, you do not move straight to your question, your microphone will be turned off and I will move to the next person in the queue. There is no right to reply, make statements or enter into debate. I will begin by calling on those members who have given prior notice that they wish to ask a question. So, Councillor Ray Wotton. I've got it's down here. It's already on the paper, isn't it?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Chairman. My question to Councillor Karen Cook, Leader of the Council, is: in 2014, this Council fully supported a motion calling on ULHT to liaise over the future of Grantham Old Hospital. Now that the building is up for sale and may be demolished, would the Leader of the Council write to Simon Evans, Chief Operating Officer, ULHT, calling on him to engage with Grantham councillors and local residents before any decision is made? Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Councillor Cook. Sorry, I've got pieces.
That's all right. Thank you, Madam Chairman. Well, thank you, Councillor Wotton, for the question. And as I'm sure you are aware, that on Friday I did actually meet with the Chief Operating Officer, Simon Evans, and the Director of Finance, Paul Matthew, of the United Lincolnshire Hospital Trusts, with our local MP, Gareth Davies, to discuss the building. We do understand that the site has been disused now since 2006 and has fallen into disrepair after the building became too costly to maintain, and spending on healthcare services was made the top priority by the Trust. In that meeting, ULHT did agree to the request that they consider all options available to them regarding the future of the old hospital building, and to also look at the alternative paths instead of the total demolition of this historic structure. They have agreed that they will engage with local councillors and local community representatives to begin a dialogue. I'm also very happy to follow up with a further email to Simon Evans following your question today, to also reiterate the interest from members of this council also to be involved in the discussion on that building. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Ian Selby.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. First of all, warmest congratulations to the administration on a wonderful budget. Thank you kindly. Yeah, brilliant job to all concerned. Normally I give advance notice of a question, but on this occasion I think you'll find it's not necessary. It's to the Leader of the Council, please. And Callum, I'd like to ask you, would you join me in expressing and recording in the minutes of this full council meeting our thanks and gratitude to the now former employee of this council, Mr. Ian Yates, for his many years of dedication to our council and our community. I've obviously known Ian for many years, and I would like to place on record my thanks to him. It has been an absolute pleasure working with him, and I wish him all the very best in his retirement. Thank you very much, Madam Chairman.
Thank you. Could I speak? Sorry. Saka Cook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, thank you, Councillor Selby, for your question. And of course, I echo your comments there. Ian was one of the first officers that I met when I first joined this council. He has South Coast Stephen, I think, running through his veins. And I think we all wish him a very happy and healthy retirement, as well as him also staying with us just for a bit longer in a consultancy role to support us. But he certainly has done sterling work, and I'll ensure that all the thoughts of the council go to him as well. Thank you.
Yes, thank you kindly.
Thank you. Could I have Councillor Janjo Hansen, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not exactly sure who to address my question to. Perhaps someone can kindly point me in the right direction. It follows on from an incident that happened 18 months ago in my ward, a very disturbing incident after a parish council meeting. And I've been trying to find information as to what the outcome was of a very expensive investigation carried out by a firm of lawyers from Cambridge. So basically, my question is, what do I have to do in order to gain necessary information which will allow me to serve local people in a manner expected by the great British public? And what is going wrong here with the supplying of information requested by elected representatives of the local people? Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Cook, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Councillor Hansen, for your question. Obviously, I am aware of the investigation that you are referring to, and following this meeting, I'll ask the monitoring officer to get in touch with you to discuss that specifically. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Lee Steptoe.
Thank you, Chair. Question to Councillor Dobson. Could he reassure Council that the residents of the Riverside Flats in Grantham now have fully operational heating systems and hot water? I emphasise all of them. Do all of them. Thank you.
Madam Chairman, might I refer this question to the actual Cabinet Member for Housing, Councillor Robert Reid? Thank you.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Good afternoon once again. We have at this moment in time 6 that remain outstanding, and this is because of a lack of consent by those particular occupants. We had a similar problem when we did the radiator servicing in individual units as well. I will use the opportunity also to confirm that compensation payments have now been concluded for the end of February, and that a payment will be made for this duration of time by way of credit to each tenant account. Hello.
There seems to be some background noise. I'm not sure if it's coming from...
certainly not coming from me. Do you want me to repeat?
Apologies, it was just difficult to hear you. It sounded like it might have been coming from your machine. Apologies for the interruption.
Well, if somebody can tell me what you haven't heard, then I'll... well, you wouldn't know that, would you? Was the reply complete, Madam Chairman? Did you hear it?
Yes.
It was, Councillor Reid.
Thank you.
Councillor Paul Wood.
Yeah, thank you again, Madam Chairman. My question's to Councillor Callum Cook, Leader of the Council. It's about the scrutiny review. We've had some information on the scrutiny review, but I wonder if Councillor Cook could actually give us the timing of it and when it will actually start, when it's planned to actually start.
Well, thank you, Councillor Wood, for your question. If I can firstly thank you as Leader of the Opposition for also supporting the administration's budget today and for the pay policy as well. So as you may be aware, the Chief Executive has shared the scrutiny review proposal with group leaders at their last meeting in support of a June commencement. She has again met with the Centre for Governance and Public Scrutiny as lead officer for the Council to confirm the scope and also the timeline. Dates are now to be confirmed for the review, and this will include the review of the current scrutiny terms of reference in the Council's constitution, the review of scrutiny work programmes, observation of a number of scrutiny committees. There will then be a programme of engagement with the Cabinet, the chairman of the scrutiny committees, group leaders and workshops for all political parties. A programme of engagement with the Chief Executive, Democratic Services, Directors, Heads of Service and other key employees, and consideration being given of what can be undertaken virtually and face-to-face. The Chief Executive is now waiting for a further response from the Centre for Governance and Public Scrutiny on the above detailed programme, and I hope that provides you with the confidence that this will be a thorough and deeply investigative review into scrutiny. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Excuse me. Can I call Councillor Helen Crawford?
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and happy birthday. I have a question for Councillor Rosemary Trollope-Ballou. Firstly, I'd like to say it's fantastic to see that some of the carbon reduction grant will be spent on the Corn Exchange in Bourne. Carrying on from that, can I ask how the refurbishment of the Corn Exchange in Bourne is going, and hopefully when will we be open? Obviously, it's all down to COVID. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you answered your own question just there, but thank you very much. Yes, we are looking into the openings of all our art centres, and obviously it's an ongoing thing, and we wait to see what happens with the country as a whole as to how we're going to open. In regards to the refurbishment of the Corn Exchange, it's been very busy. I would like to thank Ian Bland and the crew there, because they've done the majority of the work, and without them we certainly wouldn't have as much done as we have. And I think you'll agree that during this closing time they have achieved a lot. The registrar's offices have now moved across into the side of the library. Work is still underway, so that's not finished yet, and they will have a separate entrance and exit, which is ideal. Their vacated rooms are hoping to become dressing rooms for artists when they appear on the stage. The stage has all been completely renewed, new curtains, new lighting, painted at the back. The ballroom again has had new paint, and the purple has disappeared, which I think everybody will agree is certainly an improvement. The bar is being worked on at the moment. This old ceiling's been taken down. It's decorated. There's going to be a new bar. The doors have all been done with bifocal doors, so it's going to make that room into a separate area to be rented out and used. The toilets are on the list. They're being looked at now. The outside of the old part of where you used to come in and out, that entrance has been repointed. But definitely moving on. You'll probably see it when it's opened up in May as one of the polling stations. I have been informed. But again, I would like to thank Ian and his crew, because without them, we wouldn't be where we are now. And I think Bourne should be very proud of Ian and what he's achieved and what you've got to look forward to. Thank
you very much, and we do.
Thank you. Could I ask Councillor Mike Exton?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. It's to the leader. At the last question time at the last committee meeting, there was a question raised about and concerns about the viability and the conditions of the St Mary's practice in Wolf Road, Stamford. I understand the leader has paid a visit. Could he update the council regarding that visit, please?
Of course. Well, thank you, Councillor Exton. Well, I did pay a visit to the vaccination centre. Sadly, it's not my time to get the vaccine yet, so it was just a visit just to see how well the staff were doing. If I can thank all of the NHS and volunteers down at St Mary's Medical Centre, as well as up at the Mears, for the tremendous work they're doing. It was incredibly efficient. I had no concerns about any safety issues. There might have been some teething issues when it first opened, but what I saw was completely professional, and I even had a number of comments from people there also explaining their positive experiences. So long may it continue, and I'm sure I'll look forward to get my vaccine in the summer sometime. Thank you.
I get my next on the 18th of March.
Oh, I think I've still got a way to go, Mike.
Could I ask Councillor Bisnell-Singh, please?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My question is to the leader. I've got two questions for him. Leader, would it be possible for you to tell us when the cattle market sites, all cattle market sites, can be brought into use? On that. My second question is regard to the art centre. I see the refurbishment is going on. Sorry?
You're only allowed to ask one question in this session. The ruling is members may ask one question only with no preamble or supplementary, which may be addressed to one of the following.
But it's not, it's a second related question as an art centre is being done. I just wanted to know if the new list for the disabled access to the art is being installed.
Oh, just about the disabled access.
I think that question is probably best guided to the Cabinet Member for Culture and the Arts, Councillor Trollope-Bellew.
Thank you. Thank you for your question, Councillor Bisnell-Singh. At this moment, we are looking at all access issues, and that is one of those that is on the list. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you very much. Now we need to go to Councillor Woolley, please.
Thank you, Chairman. This too is to the leader. I was concerned to read newspaper reports yesterday that suggested some local authorities will be charging a planning permission fee for temporary structures to be put up outside by pubs and restaurants when they're allowed to reopen. The hospitality industry will be a key component in leading the economy back from COVID. Please reassure me South Kesteven, or rather, please reassure me that South Kesteven District Council will not be imposing these unnecessary restrictions on our local businesses.
Well, thank you, Councillor Woolley, for your question. I think we all understand and acknowledge that hospitality has been one of the worst affected parts to the industry and the economy from COVID, and of course anything we can do to support them we will do. So no, there will be no charge for temporary structures outside of pubs and restaurants reopening, and I'm sure that we will all look forward to supporting our local businesses as the economy starts to unlock, and we are certainly on the side of business and we will continue to support them. Thank you.
Can I just ask Councillor Ashley Baxter, and this will have this is Councillor Ashley Baxter. This will have to be a fairly quick question because we're right on the border of our 45 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to ask Councillor Reid. In recent years, the take-up of disabled facilities grants has been massively underspent. I wonder if he can update us whether in the financial year just about to finish, the take-up has been any better, and is that due to lack of need or lack of people knowing about the grants available? Thank you.
Am I permitted to reply?
Yes, you are.
Thank you very much, Councillor Baxter, for the question. Very constructive, may I say, as well. A lot of concern about disabled facility grants and about their need. At this moment in time in the financial year, I only asked for an outturn report of where we are on Q3 at 9 o'clock this morning, when we were looking for the blueprint of Lincolnshire Care presentation that we'll be making at informal cabinet tomorrow, and in that we are likely to have an underspend of approximately 200,000. Now, if we bear this in mind, that we have had an extra 119,000 given to us, we are doing really quite well. And I think it's also down to the case of the individual requirements. I'd be pleased to share with you that it's currently taking us 3 weeks from request to put in a stair lift. It's taking us a little longer to do a wet room. It is obviously taking us much longer with constructional work that often, let's remember, these disabled facility grants are awarded to private accommodation. I'd also like to use the opportunity of explaining to you and to all other members that this year we have spent £890,000 to date on our council properties in addition to that of the disabled facility grants. I hope I've answered your question correctly.
Much indeed, and there we will have to conclude, and so that concludes the business for today's meeting. I would like to thank members for their cooperation. I'd also like to say thank you to those members of the public who have joined us today. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Let's hope we soon will be able to do that. I now declare the meeting closed. Once the recording has been stopped, the session will be ended, which will remove everyone from the meeting, and the next meeting will be the 20th of May. Thank you very much indeed. Safe journey.